For most of the last decade, betting against Caterpillar was a fast way to lose money. The yellow machines were everywhere, the stock only seemed to climb, and then came the middle of July 2026, and two ordinary-looking trading days that were anything but ordinary. On the 15th of July, Caterpillar stock fell just over 4%. One day later, on the 16th, it fell again, nearly 3.5%. More than double the slide of the wider industrial pack it trades alongside. 2 red days back-to-back, on no earnings report, on no scandal, on nothing the company itself had put out. Something had spooked the market. And here is the strange part. The warning did not come from inside Caterpillar. It came from the gravel lots and backyards of its own dealers. Hold that thought, because to understand how a row of parked machines can shave billions off a giant, you first have to understand just how enormous this giant really is. Caterpillar was born in 1925, when two struggling tractor makers, the Holt Manufacturing Company and the C.L. Best Tractor Company, joined forces and painted their iron a shade of yellow that would become one of the most recognizable colors in all of industry. The name itself came from those early tracked tractors, the way the rolling track crawled across the mud like a caterpillar. For generations, the company ran out of Peoria, Illinois. Today, it is headquartered in Irving, Texas, and it stands as the largest maker of construction and mining equipment on the planet. In 2024 alone, it moved nearly $65 billion in sales and revenue. This is not a company that wobbles easily. The empire runs on 3 great pillars. There is construction industries, the excavators and loaders you see on every building site. There is energy and transportation, the engines and turbines and locomotives. And there is the one that matters most for this story, resource industries, the towering mining trucks and shovels and dozers that tear copper and coal and iron ore out of the earth. When mining booms, Caterpillar prints money. When mining even hesitates, the whole yellow machine feels the tremor first. For years, the case against Caterpillar was quiet and structural. It was about ground slowly lost in Europe, about rivals nibbling at the edges while the profits kept rolling. This July was different. This time, the doubt did not show up in a think piece. It showed up in the price, in real time, on every screen, for anyone watching. So what actually cracked? In the days before the slide, analysts ran what they call channel checks. They phoned around the dealer network, walked the yards, and counted the iron, and what they found was machines. Too many machines. A buildup of unsold equipment sitting idle at dealers, concentrated in exactly that mining segment, resource industries. Picture it. Rows of brand new mining trucks, tires taller than a grown man, parked in the sun with the keys still in the seat, waiting for buyers who are suddenly in no hurry at all. That inventory is the tell. Because when the machines stack up at the dealer and the end customers are not driving them off the lot, only 2 things can happen next, and neither one is kind to the yellow giant. Either Caterpillar slows its factories and builds fewer machines, which dents its revenue, or it sweetens the deals with discounts to shift the metal, which chews straight into the fat margins investors have grown to expect. Slower factories, or thinner margins. That was the choice the market saw coming in the second half of the year, and it did not wait around to learn which one it would be. Now, if you run this iron for a living, if you have ever sat in the cab of one of these machines on a German site or in a Swedish pit, this is the moment to follow along, because the next part is where a single rough week turns into something structural. Follow the channel and stay with me, and drop a comment telling me what you are seeing in your own yards right now, because your eyes on the ground are worth more than any analyst note. Here is the bigger picture those dealer yards were whispering. The mining and energy spending cycle, the years-long boom that had kept those resource industries factories roaring, has plateaued. The industry has a polite name for it, a maturing replacement cycle. In plain language, the miners already bought their new fleets, and they are in no rush to buy again. At the very same time, over on the construction side, years of higher for longer interest rates have finally caught up. Builders across North America are putting off new equipment orders, choosing to run the old machines one more season rather than finance shiny new ones at punishing rates. And so the order book that had swollen to record highs began, very quietly, to cool at the edges. There is a cruel twist hiding in that backlog. A lot of its recent shine came from one place: a boom in engines for data centers, the power-hungry buildings feeding the artificial intelligence rush. That strength was real, but it was also a curtain, and behind the curtain, the mining demand was going soft. When one bright number hides a dull one, the dull one usually wins in the end. Then came the analysts. On the 16th of July, one widely followed research desk cut its rating on Caterpillar from its highest buy grade all the way down to hold. On the very same day, it was actually nudging its profit estimates higher. Read that twice, because it is the whole story in miniature. The profits still look excellent. The desk stepped back anyway. That is the precise sound the smart money makes when it decides it is standing near the summit. They even have a phrase for this moment: the apex of the earnings cycle, the peak, the point where everything looks its most golden, right before it stops getting better. And now the part that should make every Caterpillar believer uneasy. All of it. The 2 down days, the dealer warnings, the downgrade. Every bit of it landed before Caterpillar has shown a single fresh number. The company's own second quarter results are not even out yet. They arrive in early August, on the 4th, still more than 2 weeks away as this is being watched. So this crack, this first visible fracture in the yellow paint, appeared not because the books were opened, but because the market looked at the machines in the yards and the rates on the loans and decided it had already seen enough. When the tape moves hard before the earnings, that is not noise, that is conviction. So before we get to the part almost nobody on this platform is covering yet, tell me straight in the comments, do you think the yellow giant has genuinely peaked, or is this just a passing wobble on the way to another record? And if you like being first to a story the big financial channels are still ignoring, subscribe, because I chase these cracks the moment they open. Now, to the challengers. Because a giant does not crack in a vacuum. Somebody is always standing ready to step through the gap. And this time, the ones stepping through are not American. They are Swedish, and they are German, and they are Nordic to the bone. Go underground, into the deep tunnels and hard rock mines where the future is quietly being decided, and you will not find yellow leading anymore. You will find Sandvik and Epiroc, 2 Swedish names, running battery electric drill rigs, and loaders that swap their power packs in minutes, and haul rock with no diesel fumes filling the tunnel at all. Look at the very biggest excavators and mining trucks on Earth, and you will find Liebherr, the German engineering house, building iron at a scale even Caterpillar has to respect. Look at the job sites of tomorrow and you will find Volvo Construction Equipment out of Sweden, turning out compact electric machines and operator-first cabs that feel a full generation ahead of the diesel world. And the ground is shifting under their tracks in the best possible way. Europe is now the fastest growing market on the planet for electric construction equipment. Norway is pushing entire building sites towards zero emission. The Netherlands is driving hard on its clean construction program. Every one of those rules is a door held wide open for the Nordic and European makers who bet early on electric and autonomous machines, and a door swinging slowly shut on a diesel giant built for a different century. There is a bitter irony buried in it too. The copper and the nickel that Caterpillar's own mining trucks claw out of the ground are the very metals that feed the batteries powering its leaner European rivals. The yellow giant digs the future, and the future keeps arriving in Swedish and German colors. For years, the only serious rival anyone named was Japanese. That was the old story. The challenge that actually matters now speaks German and Swedish, and it is not fighting on price, it is fighting on where the whole industry is headed. So let me be clear about what this July really was. This is not America against anyone. This is not about a flag. It is about one enormous brand, the yellow standard for 100 years, meeting a wave of leaner, cleaner, sharper European engineering at the exact moment its own dealers cannot move the machines off the lot. The empire is not finished. A company that vast does not fall in a single July. But for the first time in a very long time, the crack is not a rumor, and it is not a story about the past. It is right there in the paint, in the price, in the parked trucks baking in the sun, plain to anyone who cares to look. And the machines lining up to fill that crack are cut from Swedish steel and built with German precision, humming, electric, and finished with waiting their turn.